There's something about desperation that life can smell from a mile away. You know that feeling when you want something so badly it actually hurts? When you check your phone every 5 minutes? When you can't sleep because you're running scenarios in your head? When every cell in your body is screaming for this one thing to finally happen? Here's what nobody tells you about that energy. It's the exact frequency that pushes away what you want. Think about it like this. Every thought, every emotion, every desperate wish you have carries a vibration. And when you're in that state of needing, of gripping, of please let this work out, you're actually broadcasting a signal that says, I don't have this. I lack this. I'm incomplete without this. And life, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't respond to the words you say. It responds to the energy you're putting out. So when your dominant vibration is lack, guess what keeps showing up? More lack. It's like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it drains away. But open your palm, let it rest there gently, and suddenly the water stays. That's not a metaphor. That's literally how energy works in your life. Now here's where most people get tripped up. They think letting go means giving up, becoming passive, not caring anymore. But that's not it at all. Letting go isn't about shutting down your desire. It's about changing your relationship with it. It's the difference between I need this to be happy and I'm already whole, and this would be beautiful. Can you feel how different those two energies are? One is contracted, tight, desperate. The other is open, trusting, magnetic. When you're desperate for a relationship, you can feel it in your body, right? Your chest gets tight, your stomach churns. You're constantly checking if they texted back, reading into every little thing, trying to control the outcome. And weirdly, that's when people pull away. But think about the times when you were just living your life, content with yourself, not chasing anyone. Suddenly people were drawn to you. That's not coincidence. That's energy. Your body knows this truth even when your mind doesn't. Desperation lives in your solar plexus as a knot of control and fear. It blocks your heart chakra because you're loving conditionally. If this works out, then I'll be okay. It closes your throat because you can't speak your truth when you're busy performing for an outcome. These aren't just spiritual concepts. These are real energetic blocks that you can actually feel in your physical body. And here's what happens when energy gets blocked. Nothing can flow to you. It's like damming up a river. The water that's supposed to reach you gets stuck upstream because you're literally blocking it with your own tension. Every time you obsess about money, you create anxiety. And anxiety is a low vibration that repels abundance. Every time you stalk your ex's social media, you keep yourself energetically tied to the past instead of open to the future. Every time you grip tighter, you create more resistance. But the moment you let go, something shifts. And I mean really let go, not just pretending to let go while secretly still white-knuckling behind the scenes. Real letting go feels like an exhale, like your shoulders dropping after holding tension for hours, like finally putting down a heavy bag you've been carrying up a mountain. And in that space, in that openness, life can finally reach you. See, nature has this law that most people don't know about. It's called the vacuum law. Nature abhors a vacuum. Empty space must be filled. So when you release something, when you truly let it go, you create space. And the universe rushes in to fill that space with something, often something better than what you were clinging to. But you have to actually create the space first. You can't receive with closed fists. Think about every major shift in your life. I bet it happened after you stopped forcing something, after you finally released a toxic relationship and suddenly met someone who actually saw you, after you stopped desperately applying to jobs and stumbled into an opportunity you didn't even know existed, after you quit trying to control how everything would unfold and life surprised you with a better path. That's the vacuum law in action. That's what happens when you stop blocking your own flow. Now here's the part that sounds backwards until you experience it. The less you need something, the faster it comes. It's this wild paradox that makes no logical sense, but makes perfect energetic sense. When you're needy, you're vibrating at a low frequency, fear-based, lack-based, and what you want exists at a higher frequency, trust-based, abundance-based. You literally can't match the vibration of what you desire when you're desperate for it. But when you let go, when you move into trust, your frequency rises, and suddenly you're a match for what you want. It's like finally tuning your radio to the right station. The signal was always there. You were just too staticky with fear to pick it up clearly. The moment you calm down, get clear, trust the process, boom, you're on the right frequency and things start landing. I know what you're thinking, but if I let go, won't I lose my chance? Won't everything fall apart if I stop trying so hard? And that's the fear talking. That's the illusion of control whispering in your ear. Here's the truth that might shake you. You were never in control anyway. All that planning, all that micromanaging, all that anxiety, it was only ever giving you the feeling of control, not actual control. Real power isn't in gripping tighter. Real power is in trusting the flow. Life has an intelligence so much deeper than your overthinking mind. It's weaving together possibilities, timing, people, opportunities in ways you can't even see from where you're standing. Your job isn't to orchestrate every detail. Your job is to show up fully, take inspired action, and then get out of the way long enough for life to work its magic. When you're constantly trying to force outcomes, you're like someone standing in front of a door pulling with all your might when it clearly says push. You're working against the natural flow. And here's what happens when you finally stop fighting. You start moving with life instead of against it. You become like water flowing around rocks instead of a battering ram trying to break through walls. And weirdly, water gets where it's going faster and easier than the battering ram. Flow always wins over force. Always. So what does this actually look like in real life? It looks like sending the text, the application, making the move, and then releasing attachment to the response. It looks like doing your absolute best work and not checking your notifications every 30 seconds to see if anyone noticed. It looks like caring deeply about your dreams, but not tying your worth to whether they happen on your timeline. It's wanting something and working toward it, but holding it lightly, like you'd hold a butterfly. Tight enough to connect, loose enough to let it breathe. And when you start living this way, people notice. There's something different about you. You're calmer, more grounded, less frantic. And that energy, that centered energy, it's magnetic. Opportunities start finding you because you're finally open enough to receive them. The right people cross your path because you're not desperately chasing the wrong ones. Synchronicities increase because you're paying attention instead of panicking. This is the ultimate paradox that changes everything once you get it. What you want isn't running away from you. You're pushing it away with your grip. The moment you open your hands, the moment you breathe and say, I trust life to bring me what's mine, everything shifts. Not because you're doing more, because you're allowing more, you're creating space, you're matching the frequency, you're finally getting out of your own way. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know exactly when or how things will unfold. You just have to trust that they will. Trust that life isn't punishing you with delays. It's preparing you, protecting you, perfecting the timing. Trust that what's meant for you won't miss you. Trust that your only job is to be ready, be open, and be the person who can receive it when it arrives. So if you're exhausted from chasing, if you're tired of the tightness in your chest every time you think about what you want, if you're ready to try a completely different approach, here it is. Let go. Not of the dream, not of the desire, but of the stranglehold you have on how and when it must happen. Release the death grip. Open your palms. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that life is not your enemy, but your partner in this dance. Because the moment you do, the moment you truly surrender the need to control every outcome, that's when you'll notice it. Things start moving. Doors start opening. People start showing up. And you'll realize this whole time you weren't blocked by life. You were blocking life. And all it took was loosening your grip to let everything you've been wanting finally flow in.